Rest.
Okay?
Yep, we're set.
Okay, we're set. Roll call, please.
All right, Chair Gary Delphi.
Yes.
Vice Chair Matt Schuler.
Here.
Debbie Dean. Here. Alder Kathy Hinkfus.
Here.
Steve Cerubus.
Here.
And Melanie Parma.
Here.
Oh, we got Melanie too.
Look at
Wow.
that.
Great turnout. Fantastic. He said, forget later, Merry Christmas to everybody, but I'll say it again later. You'll probably get tired of me saying it. Approval of agenda, please.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Minutes from November 7th.
Motion approved.
And Debbie?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. The motion and second to approve the minutes from November 2nd. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Regular business, first one, consideration of possible action called due to preferred forgivable equity investment of $300,000 given by the RDA to City Dev Commons Residents LLC as developer pursuant to the City Dev Commons Development Agreement. Matt and I attended, actually, Joan, Cheryl was attended that, and I know Matt takes great notes like he always does. So Matt, why don't you recap our conclusions?
Sure, and I'll go ahead and make the motion right at the end of this, which is, contained in the agenda. But we met back in early November with T-Wall and some of his representatives from their organization. It was Joanne, it was Cheryl, it was Gary, myself. Talked, right, both parties, kind of trying to get everybody's understanding of the facts and each party's position on it as well. Kind of discussed everything and tried to figure out what are ways we could resolve all the issues at play here. And I think too, we, from the side of the RDA, saw some positive value in one, let's avoid litigation. Let's not have this thing end up in court and da-da-da, and just being able to get to a point where both parties could say, hey, we reached an agreement, and we're ready to move forward as it is. So, basically, under the agreement, the city would receive a payment of $25,000 by the end of this year, and for that we would grant a full release to the developer from the development agreement and any of the requirements there. So essentially both parties would be able to say, okay, we've moved on and we're going forward. So with that, I don't know if there's any questions, but I'd certainly make the motion that's contained that we approve that settlement agreement and move forward.
So we're forgiving the 300,000, is that was part of it, as I'm trying to figure this out here?
Yeah, that would be definitely a part of it, Kathy, and I think even as we entered, that day, that wasn't the biggest part of our concern, because the development was done and it eventually sold for, $16 million versus the $10 million assessment, and it had paid more in property taxes than was kind of the plan. So it was ahead in that regard, and so the $300,000 in the forgivable equity, we didn't ever feel was the part. The big thing there was, the intention had been that the developer, if they sold the property, would allow us to become involved, so that the guarantee of the future property taxes would be guaranteed by the next developer, and that never happened because of the sale.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the discussions really focused around, and that's how we ended up settling on the figure that we did and saying, let's do this with an agreement between the parties rather than heading to litigation.
There was also, I think, some surplus tax dollars, Alder, that we were able to use, so it wasn't the 300,000. It's not. We're not forgiving that full amount. There's taxes that we could apply to that. So.
Okay, just was wondering, but I'm glad to see that we've reached a settlement.
Yes, it's very important. Okay,
So I will second his motion.
Okay, a motion by Matt, second by Alder Finkus, gentleman, Alderperson Finkus. Questions or comments in regard to the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thanks. I know what you're going to go over this hurdle. Excellent. Thank you, Joanne, for your hard work, by the way.
Absolutely.
Number 2, Consideration with possible action to approve a one-year development agreement to Chris Properties for a site located at 1127 Reeder Street, parcel 20-68.
This is Rhonda.
Yep, that's gonna be me. This lot was acquired back in December of 2020. It is currently zoned R1, so that is the our residential. We did receive a proposal for 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car detached garage. So the developer is asking for a one-year development agreement. They are offering to purchase the property for $16,000, which is our current asking price for the property. This developer did, earlier this year, had completed a build over on Kellogg Street. So they have completed that, sold it, now they want to do another property. Staff has reviewed this proposal. The only thing that we are asking is that after the planners have reviewed it, the front setback, in order to be the way that it follows with the code and stuff like that, it needs to follow the average of the rest of the homes. So we've already discussed with them that it needs to be the 22 feet. So our recommendation is that we do approve the one-year planning option and the sale at the asking price of $16,000.
Okay. The question I had was, 1 year's a long time for a planning option. Is that typical? Usually
Yep, we always do the one-year development
It's a
agreement.
development.
Our planning options are
Absolutely.
less, but we give them 1 year for the development agreement.
Okay.
Especially this time of the year in case they
Okay.
can't get shovels in the ground.
Okay, I see now, planning option for the development. Okay, first thing, okay.
I had the same question. Thank you.
It does say planning option on the recommendation.
Yeah, it did.
Rhonda.
Oh, did it?
So
Yeah.
it really is, it's really the development agreement, right? You want them to approve the development?
Oh, my recommendation, yes, that is what I want.
Okay.
So the recommendation would be to approve the development agreement?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Nothing else changes, we're just changing planning.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, which is better? Planning and development, which is
Yep.
better?
Yeah.
I'm fully in support, and I'd make the motion then to approve the development agreement with Chris Properties for the development of a single-family owner-occupied home with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a 2-stall garage located at 1127 Weaver Street.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second by Matt and Debbie. Questions or comments in regard to the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, thank you. It sounds like a nice project, to tell you the truth, very nice. Number 3, consideration of possible action to approve a 120-day planning option to Angel Lopez for the site located at 909 Smith Street, parcel 7-328.
Yep, that's
Rhonda
gonna be
again.
me again. This one is a planning option, so you're gonna see that we're asking for less time. This one was purchased back in June of 16. This one is zoned R3, which is the very density residential. We did receive a proposal for a 2-family owner-occupied side-by-side duplex. So Angel would be occupying one side and his father occupying the other side. Each side will consist of 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a 1-stall detached garage. He is also offering to purchase his property at the $16,000. At this time, he is, again, asking for the 120-day planning option so that he could do his due diligence in wrapping up his final building details and his financing. We've reviewed it, and we are recommending the approval of a 120-day planning option.
Did something just happen in this neighborhood? Because I don't think we've done anything
Yes.
recently, and all of a sudden there's,
So the floodplain
There
has
is
changed.
A lot of it's
FEMA
the
changed-
floodplain, yeah.
FEMA changed the boundaries, which took thousands of parcels out of the
out of the
floodplain.
floodplain.
And we owned a number of them
Got
in
it.
that area, so now you can build a house.
Now you can build a house.
Not change the, do we not change the rules that staff could improve?
30 days.
When we have developers like this, we've recommended that at the beginning, they could have a 30-day planning option so that our planners would have time to take a look at their preliminary plans and stuff like that. He did have a 30-day.
Okay.
We did go through that process. Now he needs to wrap up his financing and things like that, now that he's had the recommendations from the planners.
You're comfortable with the 120 days?
We are, yeah.
It's on the line. unless we-
Yeah, Angel is on the line if you guys had any questions.
The motion to,
I think it's a really
planning
good
option.
sign right
Yeah.
before the holidays when an angel comes.
Yes.
I think so too.
The bell rang somewhere. I'll make a motion for approving a 120-day planning option that Angel Lopez at 909 Smith Street.
Second.
Okay, motion by Steve, a second by Matt. Questions or comments in regard to the motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We're rolling. Number 4, consideration of possible action for approval of final payment to Peters Concrete Company at the amount of $49,093.47 for contract CC 21-02 Seymour Park pedestrian crossing and alley resurfacing. Krista?
Yeah, so this is a old CDBG funded project from 2021. There was some discrepancies with DPW and the contractor. Those have all been resolved. So the payment has come up. They would like us to make final payment on this. So this has just been outstanding, and we have to come to you to get final payment. Approval to make that final payment. But all the issues are resolved, the money is there, everything's ready to go.
You want us to approve this?
Yes, please.
You'll retract your retirement?
Right.
No, I won't retract my retirement.
I was trying, it was one last.
Thanks, Matt, thank you. Thank you for your effort at
Yes.
least.
I gave it my best shot. I'd recommend then we approve the final payment to Peter Concrete.
Second.
Motion by Matt, second by Debbie. Questions or comments? If not, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Since we do have a little bit of time, on the check register, usually I ask these questions ahead of time, but since you two are here. The first one, $250,000. Who's that? To Zachary Lawrence Reiner.
That is super speedway, I believe.
Oh, yeah, super speedway. They have a revolving loan.
Community Development Revolving Loan Fund.
Got it.
Yep.
Project.
Hammer Steel Products, $86,000.
That is for the railroad tracks at Bay Beach.
Okay. And they look good? Are they workable?
I don't know that they're installed yet, but
Okay.
yeah, the equipment's in.
And like I said, normally I ask these questions ahead of time, holidays. Lutheran Social Services of Wisconsin.
That is our CDBG public service dollars that we awarded them.
And Vinton Construction, the other big one.
Vinton Construction is the Farland Park Phase 1.
You're satisfied?
CDBG funded activity that we,
Unless there's other questions, actually, you don't need to make a motion, you just need to look at it and get it. Director's report, please, Cheryl.
Okay, I apologize for not having our updated sheet, and nothing has really changed since the last meeting for the most part on our project status, but I did want to let you know that, of course, last week, new land broke ground, Greenway site, which was
Oh, my God.
cool, right? And the statues are being moved as we speak. They're being taken off and then I think stored. But we'll get those off so we can be able to continue to move on that. We did receive an application for a facade loan from the condo, the church condo association next door, so we'll be working with them,
Sure.
see what we can do
In line?
to help them.
In line to help?
Yeah, we're looking at
Okay.
we have facade loan money through our budget.
Sure.
They've made some applications for, so we're reviewing that now.
Sure.
Wanted to let you know that I executed a 30-day planning option with NeighborWorks Green Bay for the University Avenue site project next to Golden House.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's going to come to the RDA in January, but it will be contingent on receiving some funding from the county.
Have we seen that one a couple times?
You've seen the options coming through, but there was too big of a gap for us to really do that project. But there is a possibility for some funding through the county that opened up, that Noel from NeighborWorks is working through that process right now. So hopefully, he can get a commitment from the county to come back to us in January for that project, yep. And then I just, this has been mentioned before, but this is Krista's last RDA meeting.
Is it really? Oh my gosh.
Because
Oh my gosh.
Krista's retiring.
I'm sure she'll visit us every month just to tell you
I
have.
don't think she will. It might take her a while before she's going to
She'll
visit
just-
back.
you'll
You know, just wanted to like go on the record to thank her for 30
Absolutely.
years. 30
Oh my
years.
gosh.
30 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
We go back to the old days.
30
This little tiny
years.
department.
You know, I worked with her before that.
Wow.
She worked out at what is now called Nature's Way.
Oh,
Time
I
was in
did.
enzymatic
Oh
therapy.
my God.
I didn't realize that connection. Yeah, we can, Krista, we could use that.
Huh?
Okay. So.
Yeah, so you guys probably go back to Jake Rose then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Rose,
Jake
when he was
Rose,
calling
Oh
folks.
my
and this-
gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, congrats.
That
Any
is
specific plans,
amazing.
travel, whatever?
No plans right now, no,
Okay,
no, just gonna relax for a little
you
while.
bet. Enjoy
Maybe
it.
January, she's gonna like sleep in.
Long,
That'll be
healthy-
nice, not having to come and scrape your car.
Here's wishing you a long, healthy, and happy retirement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jeff, please, update.
So I just have one interesting one to update you on and welcome you to a new business. As many of you know, the Art Garage buildings are no longer known as the Art Garage buildings. That complex is now known as the Compound with a K. And the brother and sister team that have acquired the properties have interesting plans to develop the space. They opened a cafe called Compound Cafe recently. Feel free to check them out in the near future. This weekend, there was a very nice artisan Christmas event on that complex in partnership with the Art Garage people, and it brought in a lot of activity to that new business, so we're seeing some very good synergy. And they already have a couple of new tenants lined up for that space. The old Flowerama space will be occupied in February, and a space contiguous to that will be occupied in January.
Wow.
They're recruiting for the eastern wing there, so obviously compatible type entities, but that is an important anchor in the Old Main Street District, and we see some really great potential working with them. They have a much greater plan, a bigger plan for that space, would be an event venue on the upper floors, and those upper floors have never been occupied before, but I believe they have a plan in place,
That's exciting.
or they will, to really continue to advance that property. So an important entry point into the district. I lied, I have one other to report in. Many of you did attend the new land groundbreaking last week, and I would just really even highlight what the developer said about working with city departments. Gave great praise. And that is a significant development, but it's a catalyst project. And that is the start of a wave of residential that is much needed in the downtown. The last major project was 8 years ago, and that was Metro. So the Nova Green Bay development is the start of, there are almost twice that many units on the drawing board right now, and you're aware of that with the US Bank and another development on Cherry and Marvin Wander's development on Monroe Street. So in the months and years ahead, continuing to advance those developments. And I would say that just as a result of the renewed interest and the groundbreaking and the activity, there were small businesses looking for space in downtown this week at spaces that there was limited interest in the previous months and years. So good
That is
energy.
great
Look
news.
forward to 2025.
That's awesome.
I think you're going to fill a beautiful niche. They're going to be very successful, no question in my mind. There's a niche there, without a doubt. Debbie?
When are all the lights gonna go up?
What was that?
When are all the lights gonna go up
Wood lights.
along, and along City Deck and?
So our organization has contracted for all the beautiful lights on the city deck. They are up, so take a walk tonight with your boyfriend.
Yes, oh yeah, they're beautiful.
The lights are up on the city deck, and we have reinstalled all the beautiful lights on Washington Street. So downtown is all lit up, and more is on the way because we are going to expand the footprint of beautiful lights along the trees, and Adams Street will begin to see some installations as well. There are some very nice restaurants on Adams Street, and so we want to show that that is kind of the next wave of development along Adams Street.
Really pretty. Fantastic. Is that Leah? Leah?
I think so.
There she is. I think I see her tomorrow. Yep.
Yep, I am here.
Do you have anything you'd like to update us with?
I attended a NFL meeting this morning, talking about the draft, and that's exciting. I think we're such a walkable district here to come from Lambeau over. So we're planning some exciting things. Lots of details to work out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Working on that. And our winter market is going crazy.
Good.
People say, oh my gosh, there's no place to park. So you just have to take your turn and take time to get in.
Very good. Thank you. I don't think Brooks, here is she? No, okay. All right, so our next meeting is January 14th. Once again, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year. And Debbie's going to sing for us, I think. Motion to adjourn, I guess.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn, all in favor, saying by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. That's what I'm guys. Oh, I said, great hearing, guys. Fantastic here. Fantastic.
Time to
A lot
go
of
to
great,
pool.
great projects.
Recording stopped.